David, go and return that shoe.
Welcome to the Thrive Careers Podcast, the show that helps you move your career confusion to career success, hosted by the extraordinary Olajumoke Fatoki. Each episode is packed with expert insights, real-life stories, and practical strategies to help you land your dream job, level up, and build a career you love. No more guesswork, just clear, actionable steps to help you thrive. If you're ready, let's jump right into it. All right.
I had a very specific moment where I got stuck. I worked really hard on a particular year at Intel, and I thought I was going to get a promotion. And I was also trying to move into a specific kind of role. I wanted to be an HR business partner. So I had this kind of defeat that one year where I didn't get the promo I thought I would, and I was getting blocked from getting into this role I wanted, which at the time they were requiring a master's degree. So the best advice that I actually finally took was taking the steps to get what I needed, the credentials. I got a master's degree, and I had sponsorship because of it to land the job when I got done. So I had the mentorship. I had people who were going to advocate for me when I did what they told me to go do, and I doubled down on myself and I invested in myself to do it.
Welcome to the Thrive Careers Podcast, the show that helps you move your career confusion to career success, hosted by the extraordinary Olajumoke Fatoki.
In a way that's
if you're
not
ready,
just
let's jump right
but
into
also
it.
authentic and fulfilling. In this episode,
hello
we'll
everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Thrive Careers Podcast, where we dive into exciting conversations, and today we are going to be talking about executive transitions, unlocking hidden opportunities and landing your next role. So whether you're an executive considering a career change or you're just looking for strategies to elevate your job search, this episode is packed with insights that will guide you to success. And we are beyond thrilled to have a special guest joining us today, Gina Riley. She is a dynamic human resources professional who sits at the powerful intersection of career coaching, executive search, and interview skills training.
First and foremost, thank you for having me a guest on your podcast.
No doubt. So I'll just tell you to sit back and enjoy the conversation. Thank you, Gina, for joining us on today's conversation.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited for our conversation today. I've had a lot of people within my network that reached out to me for guidance, for tips, whether it's how was I able to transition industries,
so with my
because I've
background
moved
in
from
HR,
financial services to
and
oil and
also
gas to
conducting
tech to
executive
retail
searches,
to now
led me on a
cybersecurity,
path to
or how was I able
helping
to excel in my
executives
role,
who
how was I
were
able to
trying to
advance,
intentionally
how was I
make
able to
a job
transition from
change
individual
or
contributor
career
to a people
transition.
manager role.
And I studied
what
the
was my
market
rationale
for 18
with going
months.
back
I
to
read
school to get my
20 books.
MBA.
I listened to 120
So people in my network have been reaching out
podcasts.
to me for tips, advice.
And I
people in my
took
network have been
notes
connecting
on
with people in their
all of
network
it.
for tips,
I
advice.
worked with executives, and I
Random
could
people on
hear and
LinkedIn
see
look at my
the
profile and just
stumbling
reached
blocks
out to me
had
because
that
they were impressed
really
with my
stopping them from
work
getting
experience
seen
and wanted
and
to
heard,
ask
if
me
you will.
questions.
So with the executive
And
search
after a certain
hat and
point in
going to market
time,
for
I felt as though I
CEOs,
had a breadth of
CFOs,
knowledge
searches,
that people were
etc.
looking for.
I was watching people blow
As you
the
stated,
interviews.
I enjoy helping
ultimately.
people,
But most
but
people
I'm
really
only one
start from a
person. I
place
can only
of,
take
I
so
haven't
many
had to
phone
look for a job
calls,
before.
so many
Where do
Zoom
I
calls,
start?
so
And
many
what I
emails.
found was people initially
So I
can't
felt
tell
as though
their
if I
story.
put pen to paper
So when they're
and I
asked,
put
tell me about yourself,
my
they stumble over that
guidance in a
first
book.
thing that they have to get through, that gate, before then they can start talking about their
more speaking engagements now
so career velocity, to answer your question, is an answer to these problems. Phase 1, developing your unique value proposition. Phase 2 is preparing your marketing, resume, LinkedIn, interview prep, and job search strategy. And then phase 3 is a thought leadership strategy. And it's comprehensive because I think it takes all the moving parts
of my career
to do
and journey,
it effectively.
so many people have reached out to me. I just figured at a certain
I
point
love
in
the
time
fact that you saw a problem, a challenge, and you created a solution which a lot of people can benefit from.
Welcome to the Thrive Careers
really
Podcast,
exciting.
the show that helps you move your career confusion to career success.
Today,
hosted by
just to
the
build up on your
extraordinary
thoughts, I would like you to share with us,
Each
how
episode is packed with
executives can
expert
go and look
insights,
into
real-life
their
stories,
career,
and practical strategies to help you land your dream
Yes,
job.
I have answers for that,
and
as
build
you
a
can
career
imagine.
you love.
So
No
let's
more
start with that
guesswork.
phase 1,
Just
developing
clear,
the unique value
actionable steps
proposition.
to
It's a
help you
lot
thrive.
more than
If you're
just
ready,
creating what
let's
I would
jump right
call
into
an
it.
elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is a truncated way of
Alright.
describing what you do,
Hello,
and it's like a
everyone,
marketing or
and
branding
welcome
statement.
to the
It may last
Thrive
60 to
Careers
90
podcast,
seconds, the length of an
the
elevator
show
ride.
that helps
Developing
you
your
land
unique
your
value
dream
proposition
job
within the
and
career
build a
velocity
thriving
framework
career.
is 5 phases.
I'm
Phase
your
1
host,
is
Olajumoke
developing
Fatiki,
content
and
around
I'm
your
so
unique
excited you're
talent.
tuning in
I use
today
StrengthsFinder,
because we have
your
a truly
unique, your
special
values,
episode lined
your
up for
motivated
you.
and burnout skills, and your personality.
Joining us
I
today
use a
is
tool
someone
called the
who
UMAP
embodies what it means
profile
to
to
build
uncover this
meaningful
with my clients.
connections
And people can do it
and
on their
use
own.
them
You don't have to hire a
grow
coach to
a
do that.
successful
Phase 2
career.
is developing language
Michael Morgan
around your
is an
leadership
accomplished
approach. So
professional
when you're
with over
answering
15 years of
questions in
experience
interviews, you're
at world-class
infusing
organizations
how you do
like
what you do
Amazon,
with your talents
Walmart,
and your
JP
values and your
Morgan, Chase,
why,
and
infused
Chevron.
with how you
He's
execute
also
as a
an
leader,
author
because
and is
you
a
need to
passionate advocate for
convincingly
helping
explain
others
to
achieve
decision
their
makers
goals.
the kind of
His
person that
new
you
book,
are
The Power
when
of
you show up to do
Networking,
your work.
offers
Then
a
the
fresh
third part of the
perspective
unique
on
value
how we can
proposition
all
is
redefine
unraveling
and leverage
the themes
networking
and
in a
patterns of
way
your
that's
career.
not just
Some of us
effective,
have
but
twisty,
also
turny careers, and
authentic
some of
and
us have
fulfilling.
more of a straight line.
In this
But what's the
episode, we'll
story
dive
in
into
there?
Michael's
Because a lot of people,
incredible
especially with
career
straight
journey,
lines, will think, well, I
the
don't know what's
lessons he's
unique
been
and
able
special
to
about me.
learn
I've been
along
just
the
an
way,
engineering manager and then an
the
engineering
experience
leader,
working
and
at
and
some
so
of
on.
those
I believe everyone has a
competitive
unique
companies in the
story, and we
world
have to
and
uncover it
practical,
with those 3
actionable
phases.
strategies
Then
that you can
what I'm
use
doing
to
in
start
phases 4
building
and
a
5
powerful
is figuring
network.
out what are those key
So,
results
whether
that
you're
you
just
have
starting
gotten throughout your
career,
career that you're really
making a
going to be
pivot,
speaking about
or
in your
looking to
interviews and get
level up,
onto your resume.
this
And then
episode is
finally,
packed with
I have a
insights
framework
that
for
you would
answering,
not want to
tell me
miss.
about yourself.
Let's get right
That's the
into
5th
it.
part of phase
Michael,
1 that's built
thank
upon
you for
those
coming
first
on
4
the show.
phases and all that language we
Would like to
extract about
begin,
you as a
by
person.
you
And the
sharing
cool
some words
thing
of wisdom
about
on,
this is you
what
can
really
take this
inspired
with you,
to
the storytelling
write
with
your
you,
book,
from job to job,
The Power of
throughout the rest of your
Networking.
career, when you go to networking
absolutely.
events, when
First
you
and
meet
foremost,
new people
thank you
in
for
your
having me
next
a guest on your
company, all of
podcast.
that.
I love the
Amazing
Thrive
stuff.
podcast,
So
so
I
I'm
wanted
happy
you
to
to
be
just
here.
narrow down on
And
one of
then
the
to answer
aspects
your
that
question,
you mentioned, and it's
so
infusing
throughout my
our
career
personality.
and
I've
education
worked as
journey,
a talent
I've had
acquisition
a lot of
specialist,
people
and I've
within
seen
my
how
network
people's
that reached out
personality
to me
made a
for
difference,
guidance, for tips,
especially in interview situations.
whether it's
So
how was
I
I
really
able
want you to drill
to
down more on
transition
that, on how people
industries,
can
because I've moved from
showcase their
financial
personalities,
services to
their
oil and gas
essence,
to tech to
especially in
retail to
interview
now
situations.
I like the
cybersecurity.
word that you
Or
use
how
there,
was I
their
able to
accents.
excel in my
So
role?
let's
How
talk
was I
about
able
what
to
you're
advance? How was I
accentuating.
able
Let's
to
play off of
transition
that
from
word.
individual
That's
contributor to a
beautiful.
people manager
So
role?
I'll
What
do
was
some
my
storytelling.
rationale
I was
with going back
I'm
to
currently
school to get
working
my
with a
MBA?
really senior
So people in my
product
network have been reaching out to me
manager
for
at one of
tips,
the biggest
advice.
global
People in my
companies
network have
in
been
the
connecting
world.
with
And
people in
she
their
leads
network for
20
tips, advice.
product managers and
Random
puts out,
people on
and
LinkedIn
we're using
look at my
their
profile
products
and
and
just reached
services
out to
like
me because
all
they
around.
were impressed
Millions,
with
maybe billions of us are
my
using
work
their
experience
products.
and wanted
And
to
when
ask
she
me
would go to tell her
questions.
interview stories,
And
she
after
would
a certain
tee
point in
up the
time,
situation
I felt
and
as
then
though I had
kind
a
of
breadth
go
of
right for
knowledge
what
that
the
people were
team was
looking for.
working on and what they delivered.
As you
And
stated,
because I
I
had
enjoy
done the
helping people,
unique value proposition
but
work,
I'm
I
only
knew
one
there was
person.
all
I
of
can only
that
take
extra
so many
juice
phone
behind
calls,
the
so
leadership
many
approach
Zoom
and how
calls,
she
so
would
many emails.
approach challenges infused
So
with her
I felt as though
natural
if I put pen to
talents or her strengths from StrengthsFinder. But your talents are not our personality. It's how we build relationships, how we execute, how we learn, etc. And so I already knew that one of her top strengths is context. She likes to get the historical perspective before she goes and tackles some kind of challenge. And she's a learner, so she's using her historical context and her learning, and she goes goes and
my knowledge
talks
to
to
help other
anybody
people.
who has any touch
And
to
like I said,
the
it's just
problem or the
been
story, whether or not
over
they
the
have
course
a
of my
direct influence
career
on the
and
problem,
journey, so many
and
people have
puts
reached out to
together
me. I just figured at a
storytelling
certain point in time I have
and data,
information that people are looking for,
and then would go and
which really
present to
inspired me
12
to actually
VPs
write
to
the
get
book.
funding for the product development she was working on. And she would
That's simply
skip
like having
over
a
all of
piece
that
of
extra
Michael in
stuff
every
when
home.
explaining how she would execute. And so back to your question is, how do you accentuate
And I think that
your
makes a lot of sense. That's the
differentiators?
best
You
way to
must do
actually,
this front
you know,
end
bless
work.
the world
You
with such a
must
gift
figure
that you
out
have.
what
Thank
it
you so
is
much,
that makes
Michael.
you unique in your
So
approach.
I would like to
Sure,
take this
there
even
could have been
further.
another
So,
product leader
I
in her
want you to
role
share
and still
personal
done